Vype Live, formerly KMAX Sports, one of the largest broadcast networks in Texas and the nation. Check us out at Vype, VYPE.com. Vype is the leader in high school sports broadcasts. We've been doing it for 15 years.
3rd and 13. Not yet. Another reverse. Breaking tackles. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown Rangers.
16 seconds. Really close in the corner. Rotates to Wilson. She fires the three. Oh my God! It went in. Cavaliers pull ahead by 1.
Log on to Vype, VYPE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome out to the Burger Baseball Field as we are excited to bring you Game 1 of this week's doubleheader between your BOWIE Bulldogs and, for those listening for Akins, your Akins Eagles. AJ Arevalo here, my partner in crime, Laura Starkey. How are you, Laura?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing outstanding. I couldn't hear you there, though. Talk for me.
I am good. How are you today?
There you go. Now I got you. I am doing great, and it is a great day for baseball. We did break into the 90s this afternoon, which is it's kind of bananas because I think that's the first time this year that it actually broke into the 90s. So it was nice and warm, and it's actually cooling off in this wind tunnel that Elon Musk likes to use here in Austin that is known as the Burger Baseball Field. It's actually nice and cool, and the wind feels great, and it's here. Our teams are out on the field. They are still warming up, folks. Austin High and San Marcos went a little bit longer than expected. We got about 3 more minutes or so of warm-up, and then we'll get set for first pitch. San Marcos came away with that one, winning Game 1 against Austin High, 11-0. So let's kind of do a quick recap. Akins, they come in so far splitting the series where they played Del Valle last week. And then the week before that, they played Austin High, splitting that series as well. The BOWIE Bulldogs come in still undefeated here in District 26 6A as they took down Westlake 1-0 in Game 1. And then Game 2 just kind of opened the floodgates and took care of them 6-2, which was, I mean, quite an impressive showing, especially as it was an away game for BOWIE for Game 2. And, you know, it's interesting to say, you know, Game 1 was not as good as Game 2 as far as, you know, offensive-wise. It was a very defensive pitcher's battle, which, for those who are tuning in, you'll get to see the stud pitcher, if you will, for the Bulldogs, and Jonathan Easton, as he will be up on the mound here to start out. But the Bulldogs come in after taking care of Westlake. They played Del Valle the week before and, of course, took the series from them. And the same thing with Austin High, swept the series there, which brings us to a really good matchup here between the Bulldogs and the Akins Eagles. And let's see here. There is one little thing I have to do. For those who usually tune in, you know how this goes, and I'm going to do it right now. But a big, of course, thank you to our Vype Spring Sports sponsor, Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all the ways you love to play, Academy Sports and Outdoors makes it easier than ever to gear up and have fun out there. So for those listening, folks, we'll be right back. I got a nice interview with Coach DeJalia with the BOWIE Bulldogs that I'll be happy to play for you as long as we have some time. But we'll be right back. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
Vype Live, the leader in high school sports broadcasts. Wait, hold on just a moment. It's true that Vype Live, formerly KMAX Sports, excels at high school sports broadcasts, but did you know that Vype Live does more than sports? Vype Live does band recitals, academic events. For more information on how Vype Live can broadcast your event, email us at Vype, VYPE.com.
All right, folks, welcome back. AJ Arevalo here on the field with Coach DeJalia. Coach, big wins last week. Game 1 coming out 1-0 against Westlake here at Burger. And I'll be honest with you, Coach, I was a little worried going into Game 2, especially I guess I consider Westlake a real true away test, but coming out dominant with Patrick Callipy and Ryan Corbett with a 6-2 win. How's the team after that win?
They were absolutely fired up. So I don't know if you saw Twitter, but Boyles, Mr. Boyles, Donald Boyles, who does a lot of stuff with these kids and films them, and you know, anytime you play Westlake, anytime you play Lake Travis, anytime you play Akins, anytime you play Austin High, these are all rivals to us. So these guys were up. These guys felt good about it. They were fired up. But like I told them after the game, you know, when we walk out of there, it's over. All right. Now we got to get ready for this week. So we've been on a pretty good run. I mean, but you just never know if you're going to show up to the ballpark, and you know, you just can't show up. You got to play. So I hope we can do that tonight.
Well, and you talk about the run, and we're not going to mention it. You know, baseball lore, right? We're not going to mention the run of what's happening so far. But this week, we're going against a very resilient Akins team. You know, so far, the record isn't indicative of the team they are. They do tend to go down early, but they continuously fight towards the end. And, you know, we did have an off week this week due to some supposed testing that was going to happen. So the game was moved, so we got a back-to-back today. Then again tomorrow. Anything changed during practice, or, you know, anything that you had to specially prepare for?
No, but what was good for us is, you know, when we usually play like Tuesday and Friday, we treated it like it was almost like a Friday, and we had played Tuesday, except we had an extra day in there. We threw our other guys, our pitchers, on Monday. We threw them live to get them some reps against us, because bullpens sometimes get boring with these kids, and why not throw them live against our guys? So we did that on Monday, and then went back to work on Tuesday with pickoffs and BP, fungo, and then on Wednesday we did PFP, and then BP and fungo, and then here we are. So we didn't have the start testing this week. Akins had it, so that's why we had to push the games back to Thursday, Friday. But, you know, and then what I heard on the news, a lot of teams didn't even test because of the glitch. So, anyway, now I think we're ready. We'll just see what happens if we play tonight.
Well, Coach, good luck this afternoon against Akins. I know I normally don't talk to you game 2, so I'll talk to you next week when we face off against Lake Travis.
Gotcha.
So, Coach Agelia, thank you for your time, sir. Folks, we'll be right back for first pitch. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
For high school sports coverage second to none, discriminating sports fans, booster clubs, and student bodies will tell you Vype stands above the rest. Vype can provide your school and your entire school district with complete digital video streaming and live broadcast coverage at prices that fit your budget. Find out more information at Vype, VYPE.com. VYPE.com.
Coach Agelia, as both coaches are now on the mound exchanging lineups. And speaking of lineups, let's go down the list. So today it is Akins as the away team. BOWIE is the home team, correct?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, had to double check.
Just had to check. It's
Laura,
okay.
Laura's always
It's
got
okay.
me. You know, she's my spot on person. If I'm confused, I look at her and she gives me the thumbs up, or she looks at me like I'm a dummy, and then we kind of move forward from there. So BOWIE is the home team, so Akins is the away team. So Akins will be set to bat first. Leading off is going to be Ryan Roque, center fielder. Josh Wilk will be batting second. Macon Overton batting third. Matt Torres, designated hitter, he'll be batting cleanup. Andrew Garza right behind him. Quincy Welch batting sixth. DJ Johnson batting seventh. Matt Alvier batting eighth. And then Dominic Castillo batting ninth. For the BOWIE Bulldogs, up on the mound, you're going to have number 22, Jonathan Easton. He'll get the call to start out. Travis Starkey will be at the plate as catcher. Patrick Callipy, who is also a pitcher as well, but he'll be over at first base. Matt Garcia at second. Third base will be good old John Estrada. He's always at third base. Mason Winters, same thing for him. He's always at shortstop. He'll be there. Left field, Tyler Thomason. We usually see him at right field, so we'll get to see him over at left here for this game one against Akins. Ben Merriman over at center. And then over at right field, we're going to have Brody Miller. So there you go. Nice and easy. And we are just waiting. Like I said, folks, I do apologize for the late start. The San Marcos and Austin High game went just a little bit longer than anticipated. And so we are allowing the players some final time to warm up. And I think we're trying to get a lineup from both teams up to the press box here next to us. While we wait, though, one of our sponsors here for the BOWIE Bulldogs, though, is going to be Big Tuna Interactive. Big Tuna Interactive specializes in Drupal website development and site optimizations. Be sure to reach out today and see how Big Tuna Interactive can help make your online marketing programs more valuable and can help you achieve your goals in 2021. You can find them at bigtunainteractive.com, and that's big as in it's big, it's the size, tuna like the fish, and then interactive. And I'm excited because I think today I'll be able to do my fun This Day in Baseball History, which for those who've tuned in, you know I usually don't get a chance to do it. But I actually have a special one for you folks. Given that last week was April Fool's, we actually had some nice little trickery over in Memphis. And I got to pull this up because it was hilarious when I read it and I saved it. And it's funny how this ties all together with you, Miss Starkey here. Right. So for those who are new, who are just tuning in, we had a call, I think one of our game ones, and there was a ball outside, obviously. And, you know, Laura here says, oh, that was just a bit outside. And I went, just a bit outside. And, of course, you know, Laura here's of the younger generation, doesn't know the movie, doesn't get the reference. And we gave you some hints, all right? Wild Thing, Charlie Sheen. We gave you a ton of hints.
I know. It was bad on my part, okay?
And Cleveland Indians, and it's a spoof, and it's a baseball movie. Do you know what it is yet? You don't? Oh, my God. I'm just going to send you home. So you don't know what it is, but over in Tupelo, Mississippi, which is also known as the birthplace of Elvis Presley, okay? It's located southeast of Memphis, where you'll find Graceland. So on April 1st, okay, the Daily Journal from Tupelo, Mississippi, posted this in their paper. Okay, it says Major League transactions as of April 1st for the Cleveland Indians. They signed catcher Jake Taylor, right pitcher Ricky Vaughn, third base Roger Dorn, outfield Willie Mays Hayes, outfield Pedro Serrano, starting pitcher Eddie Harris, all to one-year contracts, and they also named Lou Brown as skipper. So you unfortunately won't get that reference. I find that absolutely hilarious. And I hope those at home get the reference and you understand this as well, so that I'm not just alone here talking to myself and laughing at my own jokes, because it's not as fun. And we'll get Laura on the movie train here soon, so she can, you know,
eventually
you can talk with the adults and the grown-ups, and you'll know what we're talking about. And speaking of adults and grown-ups, you know, we mentioned with Coach DeGelia in our pregame interview. You know, this is kind of an odd week for us. We're normally a Friday? Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, Tuesday, Friday games. But this week, unfortunately, it's a Thursday, Friday. So back-to-back games here between these two teams. And it was due to UIL rules regarding testing, more specifically the STAR test. So were you guys able to take the STAR test? I know they had some fun little glitch.
So BOWIE did, or AISD didn't have it, but I guess BOWIE specifically didn't have it this week. But other schools did, and they had kids come to school, and then they took it on the Chromebooks, and then it just glitched, and nothing happened. So they sent kids home, so they never actually ended up taking it.
Such a nice way to get out of testing there. As Ryan Roque is out on the plate here for the Eagles. He watches that first one go by from Easton for ball one. Yeah, so that's how Austin ISD got out of STAR testing. I gotcha.
Well, they were like, it's not working today. Come back on Friday. You're still taking it. We'll just figure it out later.
So we'll see if it happens, right? That second pitch from Easton, just a little bit too low, gets called for ball two. Third pitch, though, some heater right down the middle for strike one. Counts 2-1 here for Ryan Roque. Easton having some pretty good outings so far, especially against Westlake last week, which we'll touch base, because that one is going to be swung on and chopped behind Roque for strike two. Count goes even now at 2-2. So last time we saw Easton up on the mound was over against game one against Westlake, as that second one gets tipped by Roque again. Count's going to stay 2-2. And, I mean, it was quite a showing for Easton. Pitched the full game, gave up one run and I think a couple hits, and that was about all she wrote. Or even they didn't give up any runs, but I think one or two hits. As that one's going to be a strikeout, actually. So there you go. Out number one. Second batter up here for the Akins Eagles is going to be number 12, Josh Wilk. Wilk, second baseman for the Eagles. And I do apologize for those Eagles fans who are listening. I don't have too much info on the prior games for your Eagles, as that one's a swung on. It is going to be tipped just a smidge by Josh. That will be strike one, so count's going to go 0-1. But we saw Easton come out, and he pitched a pretty decent game. Got about 14, 15 strikeouts, and only gave up 2 hits against a very good Westlake team, as that one's going to be fast and outside. Count goes even now at 1-1. Wilk watching the pitch, a big swing, and can't make contact that time. That's going to go down as strike 2. Count goes 1-2 for Josh Wilk. And one thing we've noticed about Easton is he takes a couple batters to get a little warm, except recently that we've seen him. As that one is going to be low and in the dirt for ball 2. Count's going to go even at 2-2. And that's one thing that Coach DeGilli had mentioned, is he wants Easton to get warm a little bit sooner rather than later. As here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. Count goes full, 3-2. So Josh Wilk doing a good job of working the count and getting some pitches out of Easton here. As he gets set. Easton with the 3-2. Not going to get the strike zone there. Wilk's going to go to first on a walk, which brings up Macon Overton, right fielder for the Eagles. Only one out here, top of the first. And one runner on. As Josh Wilk gets his stealing gloves on. That one's going to hit right down the strike zone for Overton for strike 1. Counts 0-1. Easton with the 0-1 pitch to Overton. Some heat right down the middle. Easton gets ahead in the count now, 0-2. Easton checking on Wilk over at first. The pitch is going to be tipped. It's going to go foul. Count's going to stay 0-2 here for Overton. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Will go down as Overton becomes the second out, which brings up the designated hitter, number 15, Matt Torres, as he'll make his way to the left side of the plate. Easton at 16 pitches so far. Not used to seeing him rack up so many. That one's going to be hit, and it's going to go high and behind us all here in the stands. Count goes 0-1 for Torres. Easton doesn't usually break into the 20s here on his pitches in inning 1, so Akins so far doing a good job of working the pitch count. As here's the 0-1 pitch from Easton. Torres watches that one. It's going to be a bit outside. Count goes even at 1-1. Just a bit outside. Don't laugh like you get the joke. You don't get the joke. It's a great joke.
I'm laughing at myself for not knowing.
As that one gets called for strike, Starkey loses it, but he's able to recover quickly as Wilk is going to stay put at first. Count's going to go 1-2. That's an old movie, too. It really is. It's a good movie, though. It's funny.
I'm sure it is. It sounds like it's a real funny movie.
It really is. So here's the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss by Torres, and that'll be out number 3. So one runner left on, no hits, no errors, and 4 batters get through. Andrew Garza will be set to lead off at the top of the second for the Eagles. First, the BOWIE Bulldogs will get a chance to get their bats warm, if you will. We'll take a short break, though, before the bottom of the first. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
Hey, buddy, you say you wish someone was covering your favorite high school sports teams? You just couldn't make it to the game and you need to find out now what's going on? Well, my friend, your prayers are answered. Go to Vype, VYPE.com, and hit Find Your School to see what Vype is saying about your great community. See for yourself why Vype is the leader in high school sports coverage in Texas. Check us out at Vype, VYPE.com.
Welcome back, folks. Quincy Welch will get the call on the mound here for the Eagles, as you see him right now getting warm. But let's do my favorite part of the game. One of my favorite parts, because we'll do this a few times if we have time, is today in baseball history. So April 8th, 1934 at Shippey Park, 15,000 fans witnessed the first legal baseball game between major league teams played on a Sunday in the city of Philadelphia. It's a hometown exhibition game. The Phillies beat the Oakland A's 8-1. So very first exhibition game is played back in 1934.
Dang, that was a long time ago.
Right, especially for like you. I mean, man, that's like, that's forever, right? So that was back in 1934. So batting order here for the Bulldogs. First up is going to be designated hitter Thaniel Bright. He'll be the DH for Jonathan Easton. Mason Winters will bat second. Brody Miller batting third. Callipy batting cleanup. Travis Starkey batting fifth. Estrada sixth. Ben Merriman right behind Estrada. Matt Garcia batting eighth. And Tyler Thomason will be set to bat ninth. Thaniel Bright had a heck of a game one against the Westlake Chaps as he went 3 for 3, 3 singles all the way around. And then in game two, he went 2 for 4, a nice 2 RBI double in the second, and then a single in the fourth, and he also was a run that came across in the fourth as part of that 6-2 win over Westlake. So here's Bright up to the plate. Welch. Here's the first pitch. A nice heater over the middle. It's going to go down for strike one here for Bright. Count goes 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, no outs here, bottom of the first. Swinging a little hopper down the first base line. It is going to go foul. Count goes 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Welch. And it's going to be low, and it's going to get behind Andrew Garza, who's catcher here for the Eagles. He's able to hold it in front of him, though. Count's going to go 1-2 after that ball. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Welch. Bright getting a piece of that one. It's a nice hopper towards second. The throw to first is done with ease. And Bright will go down as out number 1. Nice job by Josh Wilk to get a glove on it. And, of course, a nice little toss over to the first baseman, who I don't have his name. Let's see who that is. Juan Cerna. So Cerna doing a good job of getting that one in. As here comes Mason Winters up to the plate. First pitch is going to be high and inside. Count goes 1-0 for Winters. Winters went 0 for 2 in game 1 against Westlake last week. Came back and went 0 for 3 in the second game, so kind of on a dry spell as that second one gets called for ball 2. Counts 2-0 here for Winters. Gets a piece of that one. It's a bouncer towards third. It's gloved and then dropped by Matt Alvier, the third baseman. Throw is going to be not in time as Winters is able to leg that one out. It's going to be an E5 as Winters will make his way over to first.
I know y'all couldn't see that on the camera, but the throw from third base was incredible and on the money.
See,
oh my goodness.
I was looking at my sheet here. I missed that throw, but it sounded like it was a tight call there at first.
It was.
For Winters, who's known to have some, he's got some wheels on him. So Brody Miller now up at the plate. Southpaw batter. That one's going to be high for ball one. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, 1 runner on as Winters reached on an error. Our score is still 0-0. That one gets called for strike 1, and you know what? Unfortunately, our guys in the box counted that as a hit, so we are going to do the same because I know you folks at home like everything to be right. So Winters will get a hit, even though that was caught and then dropped, so it should be an error. But that's okay, right?
It's fine.
It's fine. It's whatever.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's right.
It was a really hard hit.
Got to pad them stats. So 1-1 is your count. As Garza is going to call a quick time and head up to the mound and talk to Quincy Welch. It's a little early to be talking about dinner, so I wonder what's going on, what they're discussing.
Maybe what snack they're going to have when they get back in the dugout.
It might be, you know, and that's one of those we always wonder what's going on, what's the conversation, and you know, usually in the major leagues, it's we're going to change up our signs a little bit just because we're kind of worried. Here at the high school level, that's not really the case. I think it's just one of those. Make sure both catcher and pitcher, you know, on the same page. As that one gets swung on and missed by Miller, as he goes down to the count 1-2. Welch having some nice pitches there from the mound. He's got some heat behind those throws. As he looks down to get the call. Winters with a decent lead. He's going to take off towards second. That was going to be outside and dropped. As Garza can't keep it in front of him. Winters will go ahead and steal second. He'll sit tight. Count's going to go even for Miller at 2-2. And we have seen Winters steal third. He is not afraid to take off. So we'll see how Welch keeps an eye on him. And it's always fun to see the shortstop and second baseman. So keep an eye on Josh Wilk and DJ Johnson. And that one's going to be a high fly down the third baseline. It is going to go foul. Count's going to stay 2-2. You know, you get to see the games between the shortstop and the second baseman, both kind of running up, you know, hitting their glove like, hey, right here. Just got to keep Winters on his toes. And as you see, there's DJ Johnson for the Eagles doing it there. He backs up, and that was going to be an intentional throw outside as they want to keep an eye on Winters there. Count's going to go 3-2 here for Miller. Yes, count's full, and just 1 out, 1 runner on. Winters getting a pretty decent-sized lead over at second. Here's the pitch. That's going to be outside. Ball 4. Miller will get walked on over to first. So runners on first and second. Here comes Patrick Callipy, first baseman. And what should be a basketball center as well, as he towers over quite a few players. Let's see, about 6'5", 6'4".
I'm going to guess 6'5".
7 foot, Andre the Giant. He's a tall guy and hard to overthrow him over at first. It's a nice pitch by Welch. Gets called for strike 1. So Winters is still at second. Miller is now at first. Callipy is at the plate. No balls, 1 strike, and just 1 out. As Welch keeping an eye on Winters. Here's the pitch. Another nice pitch, same one. Gets called for strike 2. Welch just throwing some heat straight at Callipy. As he launches Winters. Here's the pitch. A swing and a liner back towards Welch. Going to get right by him. Right bound second down to center field. Winters is going to round third. He'll come in for a score. And Callipy will get an RBI single. And the Bulldogs take an early 1-0 lead over the Akins Eagles. Up next is going to be number 24, catcher Travis Starkey. No relation, right?
No.
No, none whatsoever. No.
We just pass each other on the street.
Yeah. You don't claim them, right? So.
No, I don't talk to him that often.
So for those who don't know, Travis is Laura's little brother, right?
Yes, little in age and height-wise.
And
I gotta put that in there.
So, but his hair length though is
it's longer than my mom's.
I'm about to say it's challenging to yours. He's trying to get there, and so I see he's decided not to cut it.
No, he and Jonathan have made a pact. He's like, they're not cutting their hair until
you can't break.
You
can't break your rituals. You got to keep them as is. You got to keep it going. So I told Coach Agelia, we're not going to mention certain things because it's baseball lore. You got to be true. And I hate wearing my cap forwards when I broadcast, but it is on right. As a nice heater down the middle, Starkey gets called for strike one. I got to keep it forward, even though it bothers the heck out of me. As Welch keeping an eye on Miller over at second. Here's the pitch. 0-1 to Starkey. Not going to offer anything on that one. It gets called. Count goes even at 1-1. Welch getting the call. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Just a little bit too high. Count goes 2-1 for Starkey. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the first, 2 runners on. Travis Starkey at the plate, and Bulldogs with a 1-0 lead. As here's the 2-1 pitch from Welch. And a time is called by Starkey. Welch took a little bit too long on the mound, and we talk about head games, and there's one of them there is make him rethink that pitch. Welch doesn't look too phased, though. Still another check at Miller. Here's the pitch. That one gets called for strike 2. Count goes even at 2-2. John Estrada, third baseman, is on deck. He'll be batting next, barring a double play here by the Eagles. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Starkey. He gets a piece of that one as it slams into our metal shield in front of us. It's funny to me that it's a metal. I mean, but it makes sense.
No, yeah.
Just because the nets can break, metal can break too, but not as easily. But if someone were to get hurt, AISD doesn't want to, deal with any of that fun stuff. So it's there. So it counts 2-2 here for Starkey as he knocks that one foul. Here's the pitch. Almost offering at that one, but Starkey pulls back. Count goes full 3-2. Let's see what happens here. Welch in danger of walking the bases loaded here with Starkey if he doesn't get a strike called. Quick check at Miller. Here's the 3-2. And Starkey looks like he kind of pulled back just a little bit there mid-swing. Still gets a piece of it. Count's going to stay full at 3-2, and we're just going to do it again.
You just stay alive for another pitch.
That's what it was. You saw his face. He went, I didn't want to come around on that one. As Welch shaking off the first call. Takes the second. Starkey's going to take a quick time. Miller and Callipy getting some leads over at second and first. Here's the full count pitch. Starkey gets a piece of it, but chops it foul. Count stays 3-2. So Easton ended the top of the first with 20 pitches thrown. Welch, he's sitting at 25 right now. So Bulldogs doing a good job as well as working some pitches and trying to tire out Welch if they can, as that one's going to be low and inside.
That was a great at-bat.
That really was, and that was tough to lay off. That was a nice pitch by Welch. I do like that call, but Starkey's going to head over to first on a walk. Bases loaded now. Miller at third, Callipy at second, Starkey over at first. And here comes John Estrada as a pinch runner is going to come in for
It's
Starkey.
actually Sean McCullough, number 18.
Oh, I thought you went for batting. I said, no, it's not.
Sorry.
That's Estrada. What are you talking
I
about?
meant who came in to run for Travis. Sorry, that was totally my bad.
I was like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to know this. So Sean McCullough is going to be pinch running here for Starkey. as that one's going to be way outside. Miller is going to come stroll across home. All the runners are going to advance. And the Bulldogs extend their lead 2-0. So Calipy's going to hang out at third. McCullough going to hang out at second. And Estrada at the plate after that ball. Estrada getting some calls down from Coach DeGelia. Welch getting the call from Garza. He likes the first thing he sees. There's a pitch, a swing, and getting a piece of that one. As Estrada took a big rip at that, count's going to go even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 2 runners in scoring position. As Estrada waits for the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be low and outside. Count goes 2-1 for Estrada. Ben Merriman, he's on deck next for the Bulldogs. If Estrada can make his way on base, as that one's going to be just a little bit inside and barely missed the strike zone there. Count goes 3-1. Estrada getting set. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Welch. And trying to get some low heat. Gets a little bit too low from Welch. And bases are now loaded again as Estrada gets walked over to first. So here comes Ben Merriman. He's going to come over. Quick talk to Coach DeGelia, and Coach tells him, get it out there. So with only 1 out, this could be a sacrifice fly swing here from Merriman, which is what it kind of looked like Coach DeGelia was telling him. But we'll see as Welch is going to step off really quick and get reset. And here's the first pitch to Merriman. Nice pitch right over the middle. Merriman gets behind in the count, 0-1. That one's going to be in the dirt as you saw the chalk fly up in the air. Count goes even at 1-1. You know, and with bases loaded, it's a dangerous situation for Welch. He's got to be careful with his pitches, but at the same time, he doesn't have to worry too much about the runners. Now it's just him and the batter, him and Merriman, as here's the pitch. It's going to be just outside. Count goes 2-1. So as a pitcher, you know, this is where you're looking at, okay, I know Merriman likes to hit these, you know, high and inside or high and outside throws, so we're going to keep it low, as you can see Welch is doing right now. As here's the pitch. That one going to hit the strike zone inside. Count goes even at 2-2. And a nice setup, though, by Welch on that one, as those were 2 low and outside pitches. And that one was a heater inside. Another one gets chipped as our fans here in front of us dive back. Count's going to stay 2-2. Matt Garcia is on deck for the Bulldogs. He'll be batting next, barring a double play by the Eagles. So here's the pitch. Another swing, another piece of it. As that one goes foul, count stays 2-2.
You know, Ben's doing a really good job of just working the pitch count.
He really is. And again, this is the second time we're staying put after another foul. So you're right. And Welch has 1 more pitch to burn, if you will, to make it a full count. So we'll see if he decides to burn it now and maybe see if he can get Merriman to reach for it. As he shakes off the first couple calls, likes the third. And here's the pitch from Welch. And Merriman gets a piece of it. This goes over the second baseman into right field, dropped by the right fielder. Runners are rounding. Estrada rounding third. And Merriman's getting the go-ahead. Merriman's going to round third, and then in the park, home run for Ben Merriman. Wow.
When I tell you he has wheels and he's a track star, I mean it.
And
he just got an inside the park home run.
But that's impressive. And Coach DeJelly was telling him, don't slow it down, go, 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 as you saw his helmet come off as he rounded right before he hit third. And so with just one out here, bottom of the second, as Merriman has to go fish his helmet out near the shortstop, Bulldogs with a 6-0 lead. Oh, what did I say?
Second.
I said second. I'm sorry. Bottom of the first. Sometimes I just talk and ramble, and we end up where we're at. So bottom of the first, obviously. Bulldogs with a 6-0 lead now. After that in-the-park home run by Ben Merriman. So Matt Garcia now at the plate. Nobody on base. As that one's going to be low and in the dirt for ball one. You know, we talked with Coach DeJelia pre-game. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Welch. That was going to be in the dirt in front of home. Garcia, no offering. Count goes 2-0. I think that one might have hit our umpire there. His old blue walks over to the side and takes a quick breather. But we talked with Coach DeJelia, and you know, Akins has had a history of kind of getting behind early, but they're a very resilient team. And when you notice their wins this year, they fell down 2, 3, 4 runs, and they clawed their way back to the wins that they got. So, you know, even though we have a lead here, a 6-0 lead, they still can't let off the gas. Got to keep it going.
No, yeah, and then for us, how we consider Westlake and Lake Travis really our rivals in our two biggest games. Akins and Austin High really consider us as their big games. They always play us tough, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come back and score a few runs in the next inning.
And I wouldn't either, especially against a good pitcher like Easton is. That one, Garcia's going to cross the plane. He'll get called for strike one. Counts 2-1 here for Matt Garcia. As Tyler Thomason will be on deck with one out, so he will get an opportunity to bat. It's Quincy Welch with the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. It hits the dirt right behind home plate. Count goes 3-1. Welch is going to have to settle down there at the mound. And 3-1. This is the old faithful heater down the middle. Get another strike, and normally it's a take-up pitch for the batter. As here's a 3-1. And there it is, a good, fast, hard throw by Welch. Count goes full 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Garcia as he swings and misses, and that'll be out number 2, which brings up Tyler Thomason to the plate. Thomason had a pretty good outing against Westlake in game 2. He went 1 for 2 with a single early in the first and a grounder to short back in the 6th. And then he came in and lined out back in game 1 as he came into relief as a hitter. As that gets called for strike one. Counts 0-1 for Thomason. Welch looking just to get out of the inning now. As another pitch is just going to be a little too outside. Count goes even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Thomason. Tries to dig at that one, can't make contact. Count goes 1-2, and couldn't lay off that one. That was a nice pitch that dropped. Nice little breaking pitch, and Thomason just couldn't make contact. So Welch ahead in the count now, 1-2. And here's the pitch. Fast and inside. Trying to get Thomason to swing again, but no go. Count goes even at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the first, and no runners on. As here's the 2-2 pitch to Thomason. That one's going to be just a little bit too low. Count goes full 3-2. And Welch getting his pitch count worked over pretty well here in the first inning. We may not see him for too much longer, as this is going to be pitch number 50 for him.
My goodness.
here in the first. As Thomason takes a swing and chips that one foul. Yeah, that's a very high pitch count for Welch.
Yeah.
And he is working hard. He's been throwing some really nice pitches.
Well, what I think the coaches have to look at on both sides this week is that you're playing Thursday, Friday, which means your next district game is on Tuesday. So if your main starter is starting tonight, you need to watch their pitch count so they can get a full 3-4 days worth of rest so they can start on Tuesday.
You're right. And that's, again, that's something that's odd about this week and the Thursday, Friday game. And we're going to be back at it on Tuesday because normally Easton starts game 1 on Tuesday and he gets a full week's rest and then he's ready to start that following Tuesday. But here, depending on how many pitches he throws, and depending on the score as well, we may see Coach DeGilia kind of pull him early and give him some rest. That way he doesn't have to rest for too long per
and
rules.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I know Coach DeGilia wants Jay to be ready to pitch at Lake Travis on Tuesday because that's going to be a really big game.
And you're right. Big games next week against Lake Travis. But the Bulldogs are concentrating on this 2 big games here first as a little quick bunt by Bright, and he legs it out. Wow. Bright able to single and make his way over to first while Thomason makes his way over to second. So Bright is top of the order for the Bulldogs, so we've kind of rounded out now as here comes Mason Winters, who singled his last time at bat. So no balls, no strikes, 2 outs, and here's the pitch. That one's going to be behind. Runners are going to advance as Winters. I thought maybe that would have hit his bat.
I thought it might have too.
Because it sounded like it hit something, and usually that would be called as a strike. But we've got it as a ball, so counts 1-0 for Winters. Again, we're staying true to our booth next door to us. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. As DJ Johnson came and gave some words of encouragement to Welch and probably told him try to throw down at second if we can, and he did. That's what he was waiting for. Is nice pitch over the middle, goes for strike 1 for Winters. So 2 outs, 2 runners on, and both runners are in scoring position. As Thomason's over at third, Bright's at second. Bright's got some speed on him, so Winters takes a big rip, can't make contact. Count goes 1-2. So if this goes into play, don't be surprised if Coach DeGilia sends Bright home as well once he rounds third. So if you're the Akins Eagles, you're looking at play at first right now.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that Winters is slow. Winters is just as fast. As here's the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be outside. Count goes even at 2-2. So Welch getting the call. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. That's going to be outside and in the dirt. Count goes full 3-2. Welch getting set. And I'll be interested to see what Coach Salazar does for the Eagles. As here's the full count pitch. High inside for ball 4.
You know, from sitting right here, it doesn't look like anyone's warming up in the bullpen right now out by their dugout, but I'm not quite sure.
You know, yeah, we don't have too good of a level. You can usually hear and see some movement, but yeah, no movement yet. Coach Salazar is going to come out to the mound and have a talk with Welch, but he's going to be, his next pitch is pitch number 60, which means he's already over halfway through his pitch count, and it's still the first inning. And now with bases loaded, Coach Salazar is going to have to make a decision on what's going to happen next. And I think he'd let Welch finish out the inning. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
But again, at the same time, you got to think about next week. I mean, it's only been 1 inning. He's already going to be over 60 pitches. And that is going to do it for Welch, as Welch is going to make his way off. We're going to have a new pitcher here for the Eagles. It looks like it's going to be number 13, Anthony Castano. We'll take a short break, though, folks. We're going to give Anthony some time to warm up, and we'll be right back for the rest of the first inning. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
For the end zone, touchdown, Ryder Hernandez on 4th and 2 from the 17.
Sure, Vype Sports brings you the best in area high school football, but Vype brings you exciting high school volleyball action.
Dive in the middle for the back row. Here comes James and gets the kill.
Vype brings you walk-off home runs on the diamond.
Line drive, deep to left. It is going, and it is gone.
From lacrosse to the pitch to the court and more, the leader in high school sports coverage is Vype Sports. VYP. Vype Live, formerly KMAX Sports, one of the largest broadcast networks in Texas and the nation. Check us out at VYPE.com. Vype is the leader in high school sports broadcasts. We've been doing it for 15 years.
3rd and 13, not yet, another reverse, breaking tackles, dives to the end zone, touchdown Rangers.
16 seconds, really close at the corner. Rotates to Wilson, she fires the three. Oh my God, it went in! Cavaliers pull ahead by 1.
Log on to VYPE.com. Vype Live, the leader in high school sports broadcasts. Wait, hold on just a moment. It's true that Vype Live, formerly KMAX Sports, excels at high school sports broadcasts, but did you know that Vype Live does more than sports? Vype Live does band recitals, academic events. For more information on how Vype Live can broadcast your event, email us at VYPE.com.
All right, folks, welcome back. As Castano looks nice and warm over at the plate. Number 15, Brody Miller, is up next to bat with the bases loaded. And 2 outs here, bottom of the first. And Quincy Welch will end his outing with 2/3 of an inning, but we'll do that here in a second as runners are going to stay put. As a nice job by Garza to get in front of it and stop it. Count goes 1-0 for Miller. But Welch, 2/3 innings of an inning pitched. 1 strikeout, 5 walks, 4 hits, and so far 6 runs. He is responsible for the 3 that are on base currently. So we'll see how that gets tagged along, as that one's going to be a little bit too high and called for ball 2. Castano with the 2-0 pitch. Miller taking a big rip, can't make contact. Count goes 2-1. Castano with the 2-1. Miller getting a piece of that one. Count goes even at 2-2. And our booth guys got the pitch count reset. Very nice. I was going to say, knock on the door there and say, hey, reset the pitch count. As that one's going to be high and inside. Count goes full at 3-2. And Castano, if he's not careful, he may walk in a run. Here's the pitch. Runners advance. Miller gets a piece of it. Count stays full, 3-2. You know, that brings up the game that happened this afternoon, MLB game between I want to say it was the Mets and the Marlins. Don't know if you heard, a little controversial, as the Mets won as a walk-off hit by a pitch run was scored. As that one gets dropped up high, and that's going to be a walk for Miller. As Tyler Thomason is going to make his way across, and the Bulldogs take a 7-0 lead with bases still loaded. So Bright's over at third, Winters at second, Miller's at first. That run is going to go against Welch. He is still responsible for the runners over at third and second. As that one's going to be just a bit outside for ball 1. Is for Patrick Callipy, who singled, an RBI single, his last at bat. Castano getting set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be outside. Count goes 2-0 for Patrick Callipy. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded with Patrick Callipy at the plate, and the Bulldogs with a 7-0 lead over the Akins Eagles. Here's the pitch. Another one that's just a little bit too outside, counts 3-0. And here comes Old Faithful heater down the middle, most likely from Castano. As no strikes, and Callipy most likely going to sit back and watch a couple go by. As here's a 3-0 pitch. And he does. That one gets called for strike 1. Castano with the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to get chopped up by Callipy, going towards right field, and it's brought in by the right fielder. A fly out towards right is going to be out number 3 in the first inning. Finally, it comes to an end. So Quincy Welch will be responsible for 7 runs that come across. But that's going to be 3 runners left on. No errors. And 4 hits for the Bulldogs here in inning number 1. So we'll take a short break for the second inning. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
For high school sports coverage second to none, discriminating sports fans, booster clubs, and student bodies will tell you Vype stands above the rest. Vype can provide your school and your entire school district with complete digital video streaming and live broadcast coverage at prices that fit your budget. Find out more information at Vype, VYPE.com. VYPE.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second inning about to be underway. The BOWIE Bulldogs with a 7-0 lead over the Akins Eagles. AJ Arevalo, Laura Starkey. We are here at Burger Baseball Stadium bringing you all the action after a extended first inning. Set to lead off for the Eagles is going to be number 16, Andrew Garza, catcher, as he makes his way to the plate. We'll see who's going to be on deck, though, as Quincy Welch was scheduled to to bat next, as Garza gets a piece of that one. It is going to go foul, hit right above us, as you can hear, I'm sure.
It wasn't loud at all.
Not at all. That scared me a little bit. I didn't expect it to hit, like that. A big thud. Easton with the 0-1 pitch. And again, another swing by Garza. Gets a piece of it, chops it foul. Count goes 0-2. And Garza just a little behind the pitches from Easton there. He'll have to speed up his swing a little bit. As here's the 0-2 pitch from Easton. And a swing and a miss. The drop strike out in the dirt. Starkey, the throw to first, and Callipy gets it in time. And that'll be out number 1. So Castano is going to come in. Anthony Castano came in for relief for Quincy Welch. He will be batter number 6 here for the Akins Eagles. So I'm going to have to adjust my lineup here really quick. So that tells me that we'll most likely see Castano in the second as well. As Castano, a southpaw batter, set to face off against a southpaw pitcher in Easton. That one's going to be just a bit outside. Count goes 1-0 for Castano. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Easton. That one's going to catch the zone there. Count goes even at 1-1. DJ Johnson, shortstop, will be up next for the Eagles. As he's the third batter here in the second inning. That one catches the plate as well. Count goes 1-2 for Castano. And my favorite batting duel here is pitcher versus pitcher. I love to see what happens and how the pitcher actually bats. As a big rip by Castano, can't make contact, and he'll go down as out number 2. So here comes DJ Johnson, shortstop for the Eagles. On deck is going to be number 11, Matt Alvier, third baseman. As DJ Johnson gets set. So 2 outs here, top of the second. Easton trying to make some quick work of the Akins lineup if he can, as that one's going to be just a little bit too low for ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Easton. As Johnson takes a quick rip, gets a little piece of it. Count goes even at 1-1. What was that?
Lightning.
Was it really?
Yeah, I just see it in the clouds.
I see it,
That
yeah.
was thunder.
So behind us towards 290 and general area over there, folks, we've got some lightning in the area, which usually means a delay. We'll have Miss Starkey here look up some weather. I didn't have anything in the forecast from what I looked at. It could be I forgot what they call it, the dry lightning, but here's the 1-1 pitch.
Just a little lightning show.
Yeah, that's all.
I've got nothing on the radar, so that might be just a lightning show. I'm not quite sure.
It's just there. As that one gets by DJ Johnson for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And here's the pitch from Easton. And a swing and a miss by Johnson, and the batters go down 1, 2, 3. 3 strikeouts for Easton. And the top of the second gets wrapped up. So Matt Alvear, who was on deck, he'll be set to lead off top of the third for the Eagles. As the Bulldogs get set. Before we do, we're going to stick around here, folks, and just kind of hang out. Give some props to our sponsors for the BOWIE Bulldogs. We got the Syntex Maintenance Services. Be sure to Google Syntex Maintenance Services here in the Austin area. Call them for any needs that you may have. And, of course, Academy Sports and Outdoors for all the ways. I said that already. Get free shipping on your favorite brands at academy.com, or get free curbside or in-store pickup at your Academy store. You know, we were talking, too. You can just go to Academy and just go. You know, it's like Target, right?
Just get your steps in.
I'm just going to go and walk around. I actually did that last week. I was able to get a PlayStation 5 for my brother, and so I went to go pick it up. And I got it for him, but he paid for it.
PlayStation is already on the 5th one.
Yeah, where have you been?
I'm not in the gaming world.
Well, here it's like The Bachelor, right? There's gonna be there's a ton.
Okay.
It always comes out. There you go. Does that get you there? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Which I have no idea. The Bachelor. I've never seen an episode. But anyway, so I was going to Best Buy, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop by Academy, and I walked around, and you know, I joked last time I was gonna buy me a new scorebook, and the line was just too long. Couldn't do it. And,
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll come back later. But, you know, you can just go to Academy, look around, and I can always use a pair of shorts.
Go find some stuff that you legit don't need.
Some new shoes. Yeah, right. Stuff that you don't need. So here comes Travis Starkey up to the plate. He was walked in the first, and was a run that came around as that one gets in the dirt from Castano. Count goes 1-0. Castano getting set. Here's the call. As that one's going to hit the dirt in front of the plate, almost in the grass. Count goes 2-0. Castano looks like he lost his grip on that one. He looked like he was a little bit on the backside there of the mound too. As he digs in. Starkey waiting for the 2-0 pitch. That one looked like a good pitch, but didn't get the call there. Count goes 3-0. Castano with the 3-0 pitch to Starkey. That one goes right over the middle for strike one. Starkey got the take call there from Coach DeGelio on the side. We'll see if he gets that call again. As there's a 3-1 pitch from Castano. That one's going to be outside and in the dirt. Gets away from Garcia, but nobody on. So Starkey is going to walk on over to first. And I heard he's not a very fast runner, so here comes Sean McCullough for him.
He tries.
It's because he's the catcher, folks. That's why. He's got to get dressed. He's got to get dressed in his full regalia.
He's got to do an outfit change real quick.
He's got to do an outfit change. like he's in the Miss America pageant. We're going to do an outfit change. We'll be right back. So Starkey's going to go get dressed. But Sean McCullough's going to be pinch running as John Estrada is up to the plate now. Estrada was walked back in the first as that one's going to hit the dirt. Count goes 1-0. You know, we mentioned we didn't really see anybody warming up, so I'm not too sure. I see some guys warming up now for the Eagles, but I'm not 100% sure that Castano really got fully warm before he came out. And, you know, he had a few pitches to start out to get a little loose, but we'll see if maybe he gets a little more honed in. And there's a bullet towards first. Wow. That was a throw and a nice job by Juan Cerna to get that one in.
Done something to make him mad.
He must have. That was a hard throw to McCullough, and I haven't seen him steal. Oh, there he goes. McCullough's taking off towards second. That one's going to be low and outside for ball 2, and Garza just couldn't quite pop up out of his stance for the throwdown. As you saw, he's frustrated with himself there.
Yeah.
Estrada is going to walk over to Costa Jalea, get a little chit chat going on. McCullough is going to be over at second now. Ben Merriman is going to be on deck. As Garza makes his way back to the plate. So Easton so far with 31 pitches after 2 innings. And this is, you know, the baseball game, folks, is Castano's. This is pitch number 20. As that one's going to be outside in the dirt. McCullough's going to take off towards third. He'll come in safely. So 3 balls. No strikes, no outs. McCullough's over at third. Estrada's at the plate. As Castano's, looks like he's got some issues at the mound, so the officials are taking a quick time and they're going to go take a look at it. Estrada's going to come over to Costa Jalea, have a nice little chit chat, but anyway, that was pitch number 20 for Estrada. So, as a relief pitcher coming in, he's almost caught up to the starting pitcher for Jonathan Easton. So that shows good at bats, and it was a really good at bat for the first inning for the Bulldogs, as they were really able to drain Welch and get his pitch count really super high. And it looks like they're working the same here against Castano. And again, aside from the second inning, the Eagles were doing a good job as well in the first inning of working the pitch count. As it looks like Easton only threw 8 pitches in the second inning. So that'll tell you, 23 pitches thrown in the first by Easton. And so that's what Akins is going to have to probably get around to as well. They're going to have to start working this pitch count for Easton, start getting those numbers up there and put Coach Jalea in a position where he's got to make a decision. Mm-hmm. You're going to leave him out there, you're going to pull him out. What's going to happen? So something we talked about as well, folks, is there is a run rule at this level of play, and I believe it's 10 runs after 3. And if that's the case, the game is called. So we'll get some verification on it, but here's a 3-0 pitch from Castano that's going to hit in front of the plate in the dirt. And Estrada gets walked for a second time. So runners on the corners for the Bulldogs with Sean McCullough over at third, Estrada at first. Ben Merriman set up to the plate as Coach Salazar makes his way out to the mound. He's going to have a talk with Castano. So we'll see what happens. The Eagles did have a pitcher warming up. I don't see him in the bullpen. So we'll see if they call it for Castano, and it looks like they will, as we're going to have another pitching change. It looks like number 21, Ryan Resendez, is going to make his way out to the plate, or to the mound. Ryan Resendez, and if I'm mispronouncing his name, I do apologize. I'm reading coach's handwriting, and our coaches are not known for having the most neatest handwriting. And what's funny about this is, on their lineups, they've got a full roster on below. Well, Ryan is handwritten in there. So I want to say it's Ryan Resendez is what it looks like, number 21. So while he gets warmed up over on the mound, we will go ahead and take a break as well. Let me double check if that's him. Yep, that's him. All right, so folks, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back for the remainder of the bottom of the second. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
Hey, buddy, you say you wish someone was covering your favorite high school sports teams? You just couldn't make it to the game and you need to find out now what's going on? Well, my friend, your prayers are answered. Go to Vype, VYPE.com, and hit Find Your School to see what Vype is saying about your great community. See for yourself why Vype is the leader in high school sports coverage in Texas. Check us out at Vype, VYPE.com.
Yep. For the end zone, touchdown, Ryder Resendez on 4th and 2 from the 17.
Sure, Vype Sports brings you the best in area high school football, but Vype brings you exciting high school volleyball action.
Dive in the middle for the back row. Here comes James and gets the kill.
Vype brings you walk-off home runs on the diamond.
Line drive, deep to left. It is going, and it is gone!
From lacrosse to the pitch to the court and more, the leader in high school sports coverage is Vype Sports. BYP.
All right, folks, welcome back. Ryan Resendez looks pretty warm on the mound. He looks set to go. Castano is going to end his stint, only pitching a third of an inning, really. 3 walks, no hits, no errors, but he is responsible for the 2 runners that are on base right now, and John Estrada and Sean McCullough. So we'll sit back and wait for that. But here's Ben Merriman as he's out on the plate, and he looks to see the first pitch here from Resendez. As that one's going to be some heat right on the outside. Count goes 1-0. Resendez checking over at Estrada at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. As that was a nice heater thrown. Count goes even at 1-1. So Sean McCullough's over at third. John Estrada's over at first. Still no hits here in the second, but 2 runners on. BOWIE with a 7-0 lead over the Akins Eagles and no outs. As Ben Merriman, looks at the 1-1 pitch. Nope, he's going to call time. Take a step, take a breather. Merriman hit that very rare in the park home run in the first inning, which brought across 4 runs and padded the lead here for the Bulldogs. He gets a piece of that one, and I flinched on that one. See, you're just never going to get away from it. Count goes.
You've gotten better. I got to say, you've gotten better at not flinching.
Just a little bit better. It's the sound. That's what gets me. I'm not anticipating the rumble of the metal gate here in front of us.
See, I grew up here, so it doesn't bother me
anymore. You're used to it, right? Resendez getting the call. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Estrada's going to take off towards second. There's a throw down. Is not in time. As here comes the steal to home. He's going to get tagged as McCullough can't quite make it. And he will be out number 1 with a nice throwback. I believe that was Josh Wilk that threw that one down. But he was able to get it. A really good throw over to second from Garza, and he was ready for that throwback to home. So counts at 2-2 for Merriman. Estrada is going to go ahead and steal second. But McCullough will be thrown out at home trying to steal. And Resendez getting ready for the 2-2 pitch. Swing gets a piece of it. That one's going to go foul. Count's going to stay 2-2. Resendez gets the call. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's going to be outside. Merriman is going to offer it that one. That was tough to lay off of. A nice pitch as Merriman goes down swinging for out number 2. So Matt Garcia will come out to the plate now. Garcia struck out swinging back in the first. As he looks to face off against the new pitcher, though, and Ryan Resendez. And here's the first pitch. A nice pitch right over the middle there by Resendez. Garcia falls behind in the count 0-1. Estrada has been getting some pretty big leads over there at second, as you can see on your streaming screen. Resendez keeping a close eye on him, but here's the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be outside and really low. Count goes even at 1-1. Tyler Thomason is on deck here for the Bulldogs. He'll bat next if Garcia can make his way over to first and get on base. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. 1 runner on. Here's the pitch. That one's just going to be a little bit too high. Count goes 2-1. Garcia getting set. Estrada dancing around at second. Here's the pitch. And a big swing and a miss by Garcia. Count goes even at 2-2. You see, can't see Garcia's face, but you know his eyes lit up with that pitch, as that was a big swing. Here's the pitch. Estrada takes off towards third. A swing and a miss, though, by Garcia. As that's going to go down as out number 3. And Ryan Resendez coming out with a good showing here in the second. We'll wrap it up. So 2 innings down. And we did get confirmation, folks. It's the 10 runs in 5 innings.
Yes.
And so at the 4th inning, the Eagles will get a chance to bat. But if one team or the other is ahead by 10 runs, then they do not have to bat in the bottom of the inning, and that could be ball game. So we'll see how close we get. But the Eagles are set to get up and make their way to the plate. Matt Alvear, third baseman, is going to be set to lead off here in the 3rd inning. We'll go ahead and take a short break because we can. But we'll be right back, folks. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
Vype Live, the leader in high school sports broadcasts. Wait, hold on just a moment. It's true that Vype Live, formerly KMAX Sports, excels at high school sports broadcasts, but did you know that Vype Live does more than sports? Vype Live does band recitals, academic events. For more information on how Vype Live can broadcast your event, email us at Vype, VYPE.com.
Welcome back, folks, as the wind has picked up just a smidge here, as you can hear it. April 8th, 1969, the Royals play their first game in franchise history. They join the winner's circle along with the other 3 new clubs making their debuts on this day in 1969. As here's the first pitch from Easton, and getting a piece of it is Alvear. It's going to go towards right field, and able to get underneath it and bring that one in is going to be Brody Miller for out number 1.
Those hits always get me. It looks good off the bat, has a nice pop, and you just hit it right to someone.
And they
dang it.
Well, and at the same time, I mean, we joke about it, about Elon Musk scouting here for his wind tunnel, but I mean, the wind catches that ball like nobody's business, and that one had the distance, and he was going to the far side there at 341, but we'll see as the first pitch to Dominic Castillo gets called for strike 1. So reliever Mo Drabowski picks up the win when Kansas City beats the Twins in 12 innings by a score of 4-3. As Castillo takes a swing and misses on that one, he goes down early, 0-2 in the count. So this day in baseball history. All right, the more you know. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Easton. Going to count and rack up another one as Castillo's going to go down looking for out number 2. And here comes top of the order now for the Eagles as Ryan Roque is making his way out to the plate. He struck out swinging in the first, his last at bat. Easton, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 for Roque. As Easton's doing a good job of throwing some first pitch strikes to everybody he's seen so far. That one's going to catch it as well. Even though Starkey dropped it, we'll have to give him some grief for that one.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
Counts goes 0-2 here for Roque.
It's my job as an older sister, and I'm only going to be here for you for a few more months, so, you know, I got to get it in.
Exactly. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. Count goes 1-2 for Roque. got to give him some grief, just a little bit. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Easton. Getting a piece of it is Roque. It's a bouncer towards Callipy. He's going to leg it out, tag him up at first, and that'll be out. I'll get around that line unassisted. Number 3 is the Eagles. Unable to get any runners on and no runs across. Score's going to stay 7-0 with the BOWIE Bulldogs leading the Akins Eagles. Tyler Thomason set to lead off for the Bulldogs. We just took a commercial break, so we're going to hang out here. I don't feel like going anywhere.
Me neither. I'm comfortable.
Right, we're comfy here, and it's surprisingly, it really feels nice. And folks, if you're not out here, you got to make it out here. At least catch a game if you can. Just be sure you follow the wonderful protocols that are in place. So you got to get a ticket online. If you pay attention to social media, you should see links for the tickets, and you'll show them on your phone to the gatekeeper here at the baseball stadium, and they'll let you in. And just be sure to bring your mask as you're walking around. You got to wear the mask. Once you sit down, I think it's kind of up to you. We like to see you wear it, but your call on it. I don't know if anyone was listening. I didn't say that, but you know, they're hit or miss. But when people are moving, you got to wear your mask, and then just come in, check in, and get your temp checked, and then you're good to go. If you're showing any symptoms, please stay home. Other than that, folks, remember tomorrow these two teams are going to face off again. Home and visitor are going to swap those, so the Bulldogs will be the away team with Akins as the home team. And then it's a 5 o'clock, though. And I was talking to Roy, our stadium manager here, and he said, we're the only game scheduled tomorrow.
I was thinking about that earlier because Austin High obviously played San Marcos before us, so that means they're going to be in San Marcos tomorrow.
And
we're the only 3 that play here as our home stadium.
You're right. And so it's going to be us here, and that's it, nobody else. So we'll be here as well, folks. We'll have our stream up, so if you can't make it, no worries. We know 5 o'clock is kind of an early start time for most folks getting home from work, but if you are able to make it, please come out. We're slowly getting back to normal, and it's nice to be out and have a crowd and hear them cheering on the athletes as they try their best as Tyler Thomason is going to get set. As he does, though, let's give a big shout-out to Mogul and Purcell Financial. With over 40 years of experience in financial services, Mogul and Purcell Financial can help you address your needs of today for many years to come. Mogul and Purcell Financial, live for today, plan for tomorrow. So Thomason, who was walked back in the first, up to the plate now. As Resendez is on the mound here for the Eagles. First one's going to be a little bit outside. Count goes 1-0. And Resendez came in and actually had a good showing, getting all 3 outs, including the strikeout of Ben Merriman and Matt Garcia. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A big rip by Thomason, can't make contact. Count goes even at 1-1. Resendez with the 1-1 pitch to Thomason. That one's a breaking ball in the dirt. Count goes 2-1. If you do come out tomorrow, folks, be sure to stop by and say hello. You'll see me and Laura here with our wires and tables and cameras, and we're right next to the press box. So just come say hi and say you heard us, and that Laura needs to watch movies more often, as that one's going to be a little bit too high.
You know, I try to watch them as often as I can, but, you know, senior, taking 3 AP classes, I try my best.
That's right. Senior. So Laura here's our student broadcaster with me, and kind of showing her the ropes and let her know what to do. So here's the 3-1 pitch, and Thomason gets a piece of that one. It's going to go foul behind us. Count goes full at 3-2. So we'll cut you some slack. You know, you've got the
only a little bit, though,
only a
because
little
I
bit.
should know.
That's right. You should know.
I'm holding myself accountable.
Please. And only because I've given you lots of opportunities to find out what this movie is.
Yeah, you're right.
That's nice. 3-2 pitch by Resendez is right over the top. As Thomason goes down looking for out number 1. So top of the order due up now is Stanley Bright. He's going to make his way back. Bright grounded out and then singled in the first inning. A rare two views at bat in the first for Bright, as that one is going to be just a bit outside. Count goes 1-0. And again, Resendez doing a really good job. His pitch count's not getting too high, but he's throwing some nice pitches, as that's going to be his 3rd strikeout this afternoon. And getting a piece of that one is Bright. It's going to go high down the right field and just over the fence. And it'll go foul. Right fielder Macon Overton made a good dash for that one. Couldn't quite get to it in time, though. He might have been able to catch it with a nice long lean over the fence line, but that one was going pretty fast down the line.
Yeah.
So couldn't quite catch up to it. Count goes even at 1-1 for Bright. Resendez with the 1-1 pitch. Another outside pitch. Count goes 1-2. Excuse me, 2-1. Blah. My first baseball game, folks. Sorry about that.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah,
rookie mistake.
It's a rookie mistake. I should get Laura doing the counts here. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a swing and getting a piece of that one. It's going to go foul. It's going to go in the parking lot.
I hope you didn't park over there.
I did not. I parked farther away, but if you park close, folks, you may need a new windshield.
I parked in the back, so I'm good.
You're okay. That's all right. Count goes even at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Resendez. Getting a piece of it. Bright, left field's going to drop in front of the left fielder. Bounce. Bright's going to round first. He's going to leg out second. The throw to second's in time, and there's the tag. And he is going to be out trying to round second.
You know, hats off to the left fielder. That was a great throw.
That was a heck of a throw. Didn't even bother with the cutoff, man. Just a nice throw.
He's like, hey, man, I got it. Don't worry about it.
So that was a very rare 7-5 out for Bright. As here comes Mason Winters with no runners on and 2 outs. Here, bottom of the third, and that one, a bullet toward the back.
Ouch. That's going to leave a mark. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to walk that off a little bit after he got to first. That looked like it hurt.
Yeah, that was, like I said, Resendez has some power behind his throws there. And that was a dead-on center as Coach Vasquez takes a quick check, make sure he's okay. He says, you want me to get your mom for you? Winter says no. So.
You need a little popsicle?
Yeah,
no, I'm
kidding. Yeah. You want a candy? Are you all right?
A lollipop?
All right. Yep. Winters looks good. He's over there. He's going to run. No pinch runner for him. So he's set up as here comes Brody Miller with 1 runner on and 2 outs. Resendez with the pitch. And a big rip by Miller. Can't catch up to that one. He goes down early in the count 0-1. Patrick Callipy is going to be on deck for the Bulldogs if Miller can get on base safely. As here's the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be outside and high. Looked like a purposeful ball thrown there as Winters was thinking about taking off. He didn't do it, though. Garza with a quick pop-up, ready to throw him down if he was. Here's the 1-1 pitch, though, to Miller. Winters does take off towards second. Throw to second is in time, and he is going to make it, though. Never mind. That was a heck of a catch there by DJ Johnson as he came over and made a very good effort to get the tag.
That was quite an effort by Winters as well, keeping his foot on the bag.
He really did. He kind of got up and almost fell down off the bag, and instead he kept his right leg down. And as you see Josh Wilktom, yeah, you got lucky on that one. Yeah, they're coming over messing with him now as Matt Alvier walks over to him too. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs here for Miller. Winters now in scoring position over at second. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Winters try to take off towards third here as well. So here's the 2-1 pitch from Resendez. That was just going to be a little bit too high. That was about neckline there for Miller. Count goes 3-1. So 3-1, you know what that means, folks. Oh, faithful, the heater right down the middle. Get that extra strike if you can. Normally, batters are going to sit and take. We'll see what happens with Miller. As there's the 3-1 pitch. Miller going to take a crack at that one. A long, hard hit towards center field. And that will be brought in by center fielder Ryan Roque for out number 3. So Callipy is going to have to go back inside and take a seat. He'll get a crack at it here in the 4th. Josh Wilk will be set to lead off for the Akins. Did I say the Akins? For Akins. We'll take a short break, though, folks. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
And the nation.
Check us out at Vype, VYPE.com.
Vype is the leader in high school sports broadcasts. We've been doing it for 15 years.
3rd 13. Not yet. Another reverse. Breaking tackles. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown, Rangers.
16 seconds. Really close in the corner. Roque to Wilson. She fires the three. Oh my God! It went in. Cavaliers pull ahead by 1.
Log on to Vype, VYPE.com.
Wilk going to lead off here for the Akins Eagles. Oh, Johnny Easton is going to be on the mound as we are almost set to get underway. 4. Let's give a quick shout out to our Vype Spring Sports sponsor, Academy Sports and Outdoors. Gear up this spring at Academy Sports and Outdoors. That was nice and easy. You should give us more of those. So Wilk walked back in the first. It's going to go by just a little bit too low there for ball 1. Wilk did a really good job of working the count in his last outing as he watches that one go by for strike 1. Count goes even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Easton. A swing and a miss as Wilk looked like he wanted to pull back there last second but couldn't quite do it. Wilk behind the count now, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Easton. And getting a piece of it that time is Wilk. That's going to go behind us, behind the Akins dugout. Count's going to stay 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Easton. That one's going to catch the plate. That'll go down as strike number 3, and Wilk's going to go down looking. He'll be out number 1. Bacon Overton. He's going to make his way out now, right fielder. He struck out swinging back in the first. Looking to turn his luck, though, a little bit if he can. With 1 out here, top of the 4th. It's going to be a little too high and outside. Count goes 1-0 for Overton. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Getting a piece of it, a liner back towards Easton, hits him in the thigh. The throw to first, and Calipy's in time. As
that's going to leave a mark.
That one is going to leave a mark. That was a hard liner, and like I said, hit him right in the thigh as Coach Tajay is going to come out, calls a quick time, and he's going to check on Easton, make sure he's okay. And as he looks at him, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. And all right.
Jay's a tough kid.
Yep, nice and easy. He's going to walk on back. Here comes the DH for the AC. I keep saying the Akins for the Eagles. Number 15, Matt Torres. The pitch is nice curve inside. Count goes 0-1. Torres struck out swinging in the first, his last outing. As here's the 0-1 pitch. That was going to be low and outside. Count goes even at 1-1. That's one thing that shocks me though about Easton. See, there's not much of a pause or a break. He's ready to throw, and he gets to go ahead, and here we go. That one's going to be high and inside. Count goes 2-1. So see Torres is there, and Easton's set, and here we go. No breaks in between. He's trying to get a slider over the plate. Can't quite catch the stone, though. As Easton behind in the count now, 3-1. Torres doing a good job of laying off those pitches, though. Here's a 3-1 pitch. And not going to catch the zone there is Torres with a nice at-bat. He's going to go and walk on over to first, which is going to bring up catcher Andrew Garza for the Eagles. So top of the 4th, 2 outs and 1 runner on for the Eagles, as they still currently trail the BOWIE Bulldogs by a score of 7-0. Here's the pitch from Easton. A swing and a miss by Garza. It's going to be strike 1. Garza struck out swinging on 3 pitches back in the second, his last outing. As Easton gets set, here's the 0-1. Not going to catch the zone there. Count goes even at 1-1. Easton checking on Torres over at first. Getting a piece of that one, though, is Garza. As you could hear it, does go foul. Count goes 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th. And the BOWIE Bulldogs with a 7-0 lead. 1 runner on as Torres is at first and Andrew Garza, catcher, is at the plate. Easton with the 1-2 pitch to Garza. It's going to be just a bit outside. Trying to get Garza to reach. Not going to happen, though. Count goes even at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Easton. Torres is going to take off. A throw to second is a little behind. Winters with a dive. Can't quite get the tag. And Torres will get a steal out of that one, as he'll hang out at second now. So full count here for Andrew Garza. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Torres in scoring position, the only runner on base right now for the Eagles. As here's the full count pitch from Easton. And a swing and a miss by Garza. And he will go down swinging for out number 3. So 1 runner left on. No errors and no hits. And that'll do it for the top of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th set to be underway with Patrick Callipy scheduled to lead off for the Bulldogs. We'll go ahead and take a short break, folks. We'll be right back. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
For high school sports coverage second to none, discriminating sports fans, booster clubs, and student bodies will tell you Vype stands above the rest. Vype can provide your school and your entire school district with complete digital video streaming and live broadcast coverage at prices that fit your budget. Find out more information at Vype. VYPE.com. VYPE.com.
All right, folks, bottom of the 4th set to be underway. Ryan Resendez back on the mound here for the Eagles. And we'll do another this day. So this day, April 8th, 1975, Frank Robinson becomes the first black manager in Major League history as his Indians defeat the Yankees 5-3. The Tribe's new player-manager hits a home run in his first at-bat as the DH. That's crazy, manager and player. Oh, Frank Robinson back in 1975. So Patrick Callipy, who singled in the first, he flew out as well in the first, his second at-bat. He's set to lead off for the Bulldogs. Travis Starkey will be right behind him, followed by John Estrada batting third. Resendez coming in so far with 3 strikeouts and no hits and just 1 walk. This is going to be his first time facing off against Patrick Callipy. So here's the first pitch from Resendez to Callipy. A little too high. Count goes 1-0. Callipy awaits the 1-0 pitch. Resendez with the throw. Some heat right over the middle. Count goes even at 1-1. Resendez Here's the 1-1 pitch. Callipy getting a piece of that one. Count goes 1-2 as it goes foul right behind him, as you can hear.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. So if I say, oh, that was hit down the third baseline, it's like, but what was that noise, AJ? What the heck are you talking about? So here's the 1-2 pitch from Resendez. It's going to hit the dirt in front of home plate. Count goes even at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Bottom of the 4th. No runners on yet. And Patrick Callipy at the mound. Bulldogs still with a 7-0 lead over the Akins Eagles, as Resendez delivers the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be outside and in the dirt. Count goes full, 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And Callipy gets a piece of that one. A high liner towards left field. It's going to drop between the left and center fielder. It's going back towards the fence. Callipy's going to round first. He's making his way to second. He's going to round second. He's going to slow it down as the cutoff man. And DJ Johnson gets that one. And Callipy with a double here to lead off in the 4th for the Bulldogs. Time is called. Maybe, yep, yeah, as Coach Jelly is signaling Callipy to come over, and Callipy is going to have a pinch runner come in. See if you can get a number for me there, Miss Starkey.
Number 6. I believe off the top of my head that is Peyton Purcell, but you might want to check me on that.
What are you here for? That is Peyton Purcell. Good job.
Yes.
Number 6, Peyton Purcell is going to make his way out. Courtesy runner. We'll see if he ends up coming into play for Callipy. As we talked before, Callipy is a pitcher as well. He may come in for Easton, but we don't really see Corbett come in to close out the game, so we'll see what happens. But Purcell's going to be over at second after that nice double by Callipy as Starkey watches that first one go by for ball 1. This is the first time that Starkey gets to face off against Resendez here this afternoon, as he's gone up against both Welch and Castano. And he was walked both times. That one right over the middle. A little bouncer towards short. Johnson with it. Throw to first is in time. And Starkey will be out number 1. Purcell will advance over to third, though. Which brings up John Estrada, third baseman, with 1 out and 1 runner in scoring position as Purcell's at third. Estrada walked his both times at bat, and again, this is his first time to face off against Resendez. Here's the first pitch. A little breaking ball over the middle. Count goes 0-1 for Estrada. Resendez getting the call. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Estrada. It's going to be low and outside. Count goes even at 1-1. Resendez getting set. Estrada waits for the 1-1 pitch. Getting a piece of that one. High fly towards left field. It's going up towards the fence, and able to get underneath it is left fielder. Purcell's going to tag up, and he'll come across. And the Bulldogs will extend their lead. Estrada will be out number 2 after that sacrifice fly. He'll get counted for the RBI, though. So with 2 outs, here comes Ben Merriman up to the plate. Merriman was the first batter to go up against Resendez, and he struck out swinging his first at bat. First one goes by for ball 1. Count goes 1-0 here for Merriman. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Resendez. That one's going to be just a bit outside. Count goes 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th. That one, nice throw that hits the edge of the box there on the outside. Count goes 2-1. Matt Garcia is going to be on deck for the Bulldogs, as he'll bat next if Merriman can make his way on base. No runners on, so base is empty for Merriman. As here's the pitch, he gets a piece of that one. It's a high fly towards left field. It is shallow, so he's coming up to get it and bringing that one in with ease. It's going to be Dominic Castillo, and Merriman will fly out for out number 3. So 1 run is able to come across. 1 hit, no errors, no runners left on, and that'll do it for the 4th inning. So 4 innings down and 3 more to go. BOWIE Bulldogs with an 8-0 lead over the Akins Eagles. We'll be right back for the 6th inning. You're listening to Bulldog Baseball right here on Vype Live.
Hey, buddy, you say you wish someone was covering your favorite high school sports teams? You just couldn't make it to the game and you need to find out now what's going on? Well, my friend, your prayers are answered. Go to Vype, BYPE.com, and hit Find Your School to see what Vype is saying about your great community. See for yourself why Vype is the leader in high school sports coverage in Texas. Check us out at Vype, BYPE.com.
AJ Revel here, Laura Starkey, even though she's super duper quiet today, she is still here listening, and
I'm still present. I'm still here.
She is still present, and I gotta do a better job of letting you get in here and say something. I know I talk a lot. I'm used to the one. I am. I'm used to the one-man crew. And with baseball, you know, you've got to learn to fill time. Here's the first pitch to Resendez from Easton. Gets called for ball 1. So my favorite duel of the evening games, of any game, is the pitcher's duel here as Resendez watches that one go by for ball 2. So Easton behind early in the count 2-0. Resendez doing a good job sitting tight. So here's the 2-0 pitch. A swing and a miss, right as I said, he's sitting tight. Count goes 2-1. Resendez taking a big rip at that one. Can't make contact though.
He tries. A for effort.
It was a good effort. There's that one. Another swing and a miss by Resendez. Count goes even at 2-2. Callipy is still over at first, so it looks like it was just a courtesy runner for him. I don't see a wardrobe change, so I'm not too sure. Can't quite catch the strike zone there as count goes full, 3-2. As here's the full count pitch. And can't get it. Resendez doing a good job of sitting there and making sure he's not swinging anything too crazy. He'll get walked on over to first, which brings up shortstop number 2, DJ Johnson. Johnson struck out swinging back in the second. This is his second time at bat. We do have a courtesy runner here for Resendez. It's going to be number 3, and I'll get a name here in a second, folks, because Torres not going to do it.
I do not have the picture of the lineup. Excuse me.
Zach Cole is going to be out running here for Resendez. Here's the first pitch. Quick throw, and Starkey with a nice pop-up. Thought about throwing it to first, but wasn't going to catch Cole in time.
I think he was going to. He just lost the grip on the ball.
You think
he looked down at it and was like, oh, okay.
Just got to put that tar on it a little bit, get a better grip on it, right? Here's the 1-0 pitch. Another high and inside, and Johnson looks like he wants he's eager to swing and get something, but he's staying pretty disciplined there and holding back and pulling back. It counts 2-0 now in his favor. Cole with a small lead over at first. Easton keeping an eye on him. Here's the pitch. Again, another too high pitch there. Counts 3-0 as Starkey's going to call quick time and have a talk with Easton and make sure he knows that, you know, Who said it last time? Hey, you're not the worst pitcher, but you're getting there, all right? So, hey, let's start throwing some strikes.
Travis is like, dude, I want bushes before I go home.
Let's get out of here.
Like, come on, man.
So 3-0's the count now here for DJ Johnson, doing a good job of not offering anything in the pitches he's seen so far. Zach Cole's over at first. He's pinch running for Ryan Resendez. As there's a throw over to first. Not in time. But this is the time where you usually see Old Faithful heater down the middle. It's a guaranteed strike, and it's usually a take. But with Akins, with a pretty big hill to climb to catch up, I'd be surprised if he takes. As that one goes by, as 4 straight pitches for DJ Johnson, and he walks on over to first. So the leadoff and the next hitter are walked for the Bulldogs, for the Akins Eagles. So they have 2 runners on as here comes Matt Alvier, third baseman, as he talks with Coach Salazar here for a second. Coach DeGelli is going to walk on out to the mound as well and talk to Easton. Very rare do we see 2 straight batters walked by Easton. So we'll see what Coach DeGelli is going to tell him. Starkey's there as well. But no outs here at top of the 5th, and the Bowie Bulldogs with an 8-0 lead over the Akins Eagles. And we do have someone warming up in the bullpen for Bowie. Not quite sure who it is. It's probably Corbett. Usually we see Corbett come out. But we'll see, as here's the first pitch to Alvier. That one is going to be right over the plate for strike 1. So counts 0-1 now, 2 runners on, no outs. So Ethan's going to have to be careful. As he eyes Cole at second, here's the pitch, a swing and a miss by Alvier. He goes down early in the count, 0-2. As Easton gives a quick signal over to Winters. See if he comes up and tries to do a throw it at second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt. Starkey quick to get up. The pop up, the throw to second is in time, but he can't quite make the tag. As Cole gets back and slides into the bag. He's called safe. That one was in the dirt. No offering from Alvier, so count's going to go 1-2. I was like, is that maybe the crowd yelling? That's the dugout yelling. They're
No, that was the crowd.
Was it? No, I missed it. It's a swing and a miss by Alvier. And he goes down swinging as for out number 1. So Dominic Castillo is not going to make his way out. We have a pinch hitter. It's going to be number 1, Anthony Tijerina. So we'll see if he comes in for Castillo over at left field. Easton getting set. Tijerina is making his way to the plate. 1 out, top of the 5th, 2 runners on. Here's the pitch from Easton. A little bit too high as Starkey again with a nice pop-up. Count goes 1-0. Looks like Travis is itching to throw down the second, as that one's going to get tipped and go straight behind like a bullet. Count goes even at 1-1. So counts even, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 runners on, and number 1, Anthony Tijerina is at the plate. Swing and a miss though. Count goes 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Easton. It's going to be fast and outside. Count goes even at 2-2. Top of the order coming up next here is Ryan Roque. He's going to be on deck. It's going to be a swing and a miss by Tijerina, and he'll be out number 2 after that strikeout. So Ryan Roque makes his way up to the plate now. Roque struck out swinging, or struck out in the first. Then he had a grounder towards Patrick Callipy, who got the unassisted out. As a nice little bouncer towards the pitcher. The throw to first by Winters is in time. Wow. What a throw by Winters. As Ryan Roque swinging at the first thing he sees. Will go down as out number 3.
That was a very advanced and impressive play by Mason Winters.
And it was a nice throw. And again, you have that. People don't understand when you get that as a shortstop. You get the force out at third, at second, or do you throw it to first? And you've got to make that split-second decision. And if he would have chosen any other bag to throw to, wouldn't have made it in time.
Yeah.
The runners had taken off as soon as they saw the pitch. So nice throw down to Callipy over at first for out number 3. But that's going to do it for the top of the 5th for the Eagles. So Matt Garcia is set to lead off for the Bulldogs. Tyler Thomason will be batting second. And then top of the order with Fanio Bright. Ryan Resendez is back on the mound. And we're going to keep it here, folks. And we'll give another shout out to our BOWIE Bulldogs sponsor for the baseball district season, Plucker's Wing Bar. Be sure to visit one of the 7 Austin area locations today. Currently, we are offering online delivery and curbside pickup from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Plucker's Wing Bar, where we promise to have the beer ice cold and the wings piping hot. So Matt Garcia was set to lead off here. It looks like we're going to have a different batter here for him. It looks like it's going to be number 20, Grayson Nicchio. So Grayson Nicchio will come in here in the 5th. So we'll see if Thomason will be next. It looks like he is not. As it looks like Dylan Godina is in the circle getting warmed up on deck. So we'll see who comes up next. But for now, we got Grayson Nicchio at the plate as he looks to face off against Ryan Resendez here to lead off the bottom of the 5th. First pitch is going to be high and outside by Resendez. Count goes 1-0. Resendez getting set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle. Count goes even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's going to be low and in the dirt. It's going to get away from Garza. But no worries. No one's on. Count goes 2-1 here for Nicchio. We last saw Grayson, I believe, it was game 1 against Del Valle. That one's going to be high and outside. Count goes 3-1. We did. Nicchio came in the 7th back in game 1 against Del Valle. Hit a nice triple, an RBI triple off of the Cardinals. As he swings and gets a piece of that one. Count goes full 3-2. Nicchio waiting for the full count pitch from Resendez. Swings and gets a piece of that one. Goes high and behind, goes behind us as well. So we'll do it again. Count stays 3-2. Nicchio waiting for the pitch from Resendez. It's going to be outside and high. Ball 4. Nicchio will reach first on a walk here to lead off bottom of the 5th, which is going to bring up, and it is going to be a pinch hitter here. It's number 19, Dylan Godina.
You know, it's really cool to see in games like these, once we get towards the end of the game and we have a nice big lead, that some of our non-starters get to come in and they get to come in and make a difference, and that's really cool to see.
You know, and it really is nice. And Grayson there's a prime example. Like I said, we saw him back in Game 1 against Del Valle last week, hitting an RBI triple coming in the 7th. I mean, that's to have that, to be able to come off the bench and produce like that is great. And here he is now drawing the walk as he's on first. And here's Dylan Godina. That one's going to be high and over his head. Count goes 1-0. So we saw Godina last in Game 2 against Westlake. He struck out swinging. We also saw him Game 1 against Westlake as he grounded out towards the pitcher. As that one goes by for ball 2, count goes 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Can't quite get the strike zone for Resendez there as count goes 3-0. Garza is going to trot out to the mound and talk to Resendez. Resendez hitting 53 pitches so far, so this will be pitch number 54. So could be getting a little tired out of the mound. I don't think so, but like I said, I anticipated him to come in and, he wasn't ready, I'm sure starting out in the game, it wasn't, I'm going to be ready to come in on the second inning. But again, he's done a great job so far in his outing. Here's the pitch, and Godina shows a bunt and pulls back, but it doesn't matter as that goes through for a strike one. So Nicchio's over at first. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs, and the Bulldogs with an 8-0 lead. Here's a pitch from Resendez. Outside, and that's ball 4. Godina will make his way over to first on the walk. Nicchio will head over to second. Top of the order coming up now. It looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter here for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be number 10, Jonathan Gonzalez. I don't believe I've seen him at all yet so far in district play. So this is my first time to check him out and see what's happening as Coach Salazar comes out to our official behind the plate and is having a talk. And our players here for the Eagles are meeting up at the mound, and we'll see what happens as Coach Salazar's getting something checked out. He's going to head to the plate, and he is going to make a pitching change. So that's going to do it for Ryan Resendez here this afternoon. To be quite honest, folks, my scorebook is all kinds of crazy right now, so I don't think I'll try to get some stats here for Mr. Resendez as he had a very good outing. But it looks like, did you get a number on the new pitcher coming in? It looks like it's going to be number, is it 5? Because Dominic Castillo is 5, he's left field. And I think that is true. I think we're going to have some position moves here. So Dominic Castillo, and that's probably what it was, because Anthony Tijerina came in here in the top of the 5th to bat for Castillo, and that was probably Coach Salazar's plan, was to get him warm and to get him ready. So I'll put number 5. Yeah, my book's all crazy. Dominic Castillo. So Castillo's up on a mound now here for the Eagles as he gets warm. 2 runners on base now for the Bulldogs as Nicchio's over at second. Godina's at first. And I mentioned Bright was set to go out here to top of the order, but I think we have pinch hitter Jonathan Gonzalez coming out for him. It's number 10. Again, our first time seeing him here in district play. My first time seeing him at least. Southpaw batter, so we'll see what he has with 2 runners on. And we'll just kind of hang out here and wait. Let's do it this day in baseball history, yeah?
Yeah.
While we wait, let's see if I can find a good one.
Make it interesting.
Make it interesting. Ooh, here's a interesting one. In 1984, the Mets' 3-1 victory over the Houston Astros at the good old Astrodome. Mike Torres' pitch smashes Dickie Thon's face, compromising the 25-year-old Houston shortstop's career.
Ow!
The remorseful right-hander fastball breaks the orbital bone around the left eye, ending his season and impacting his future as a major leaguer due to problems with depth perception. As a nice hit by Gonzalez goes to left field. It's going to drop in front of the left fielder. Gonzalez is going to hit first. Runners are all going to advance. They kind of held up. Godina and Nicchio held up. They weren't sure. And again, it looks like the wind caught that one and dropped in front. And I'm assuming left fielder is going to be Anthony Tejerina since Castillo is at the mound. But a nice hit by Gonzalez as he'll get a single, which will result in bases loaded now for the Bulldogs. As Mason Winters is up to the plate. Wisely doesn't offer at that one. Count goes 1-0. And that is Winters there, so no pitch hitter for him. So Nicchio's at third, Godina's at second, Gonzalez is at first, as that one's going to be inside and almost gets Winters in the arm. Count goes 2-0. So yeah, depth perception as a result of the injury ends Dickie Thorne's career with the Houston Astros and his professional career at all. As Winters gets a piece of that one, it's a bouncer down the third baseline. It goes foul. Coach DeGelli gets a hand on it. as he signals somebody from the dugout to go get it.
Yeah.
Got to catch those, Coach. Got to catch those. Counts 2-1 here for Winters. Castillo gets set. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Nice pitch right over the middle. Gets called for strike two. 2-2's the count for Winters. Bases loaded. No outs. Bottom of the fifth. And if my understanding is correct of the rules, if 2 more runs come across, that will be the ball game. As Winters swings and gets a piece of that one. It's a floater. And unable to get to it is the first baseman for the Eagles. And again, I'm assuming it's still Juan Serna. So count's going to stay 2-2. Nice slider, can't quite hit the zone. Count goes full 3-2. So Winters hit a single in the first and then has been walked his other 2 times at bat. As that one's going to be inside, and there's another one as he'll get walked and a run will get walked in as Nicchio will come across the score. So Godina's at third. Gonzalez is at second. Winters is now at first. And we have a pinch hitter here, so Brody Miller will not be coming out. Pinch hitter is going to be number 12, Sebastian Mirable. And I believe we have seen Sebastian before. I'll have to check my notes. I don't think we saw him last week, as here's the first pitch. He takes a swing offer. That's going to hit inside, and they're going to count that one foul. Oh, man, that was tight.
Hit the line.
It looked like it hit inside the line, and the secondary bounce looked like it might have hit the line. As Coach DeGelli is saying, look, there's the imprint in the dirt. That's going to go down, though, for Mirable as strike one, as he was almost able to drive in the deciding run. As Godina took off immediately. He had to do a little hop and then took off running. Mirable will get another crack at it. Here's the pitch from Castillo. Gets that one. That one's a liner down third base, and here comes Godina as runners are going to hold, and Godina makes his way across. And that'll be an RBI single for Mirable. And that will be our ball game, folks. Run rule into effect. And that'll do it. Bulldogs come away after 5 innings with a 10-0 lead over the Akins Eagles. Let's just stick it here. Let's wrap it up, folks. I'm not going to really do too much on stat-wise. I know we gave you as much info for the Akins Eagles as we could as far as the BOWIE Bulldogs. It looks like Easton is going to get the full 5 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 strikeouts. And no hits. And a handful of walks. And that is going to do it for him, folks. So, Laura, you got anything for me?
It's a good win. They kept it competitive. They didn't let their foot off the gas. I think that's really good going into Lake Travis next week after coming off of Westlake. I think they did a good job.
Yep, and we still got one more, though, folks. So be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. first pitch. You can find it here on this website that you're looking at, Vype.com. We will also put out another, I guess I will put out another tweet with the link, and I'll be sure to tag Akins Baseball in it as well so that you folks for the Eagles can tune in and listen with you. One more shout out to Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all the ways you love to play, Academy Sports and Outdoors makes it easier than ever to gear up and have fun out there. And of course, the BOWIE Bulldogs sponsors Big Tuna Interactive, Syntex Maintenance Services, Mogul and Purcell Financial, and Plucker's Wing Bar. So thank you everybody for tuning in and listening today. A big thanks to Miss Deandra, our QA over at Vype Studios, making sure we sound as best we could. Laura, thank you very much. Did a good job today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow, folks. Until then, we'll catch you next time.